How you doing, everybody? It's the 2nd of January 2010. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I hope everybody had a nice time over the New Year and the holidays. And I know a lot of snow and a lot of discomfort here in Ireland, but I hope everybody survived it, especially old people and people that are disenfranchised and live on the streets. I hope they managed to survive it all. I'm sure they did. I'm sure in the main they did. But I just go on about it. If you do know old neighbours and I got, give them a ring, go and see them, see if everything's alright, okay? Especially if they're your relatives or your in-laws or whatever. Just phone call, Bob's your uncle. Nothing's really been happening really on the economic front, except a couple of interesting things in newspapers, which I put a wee link up. Now, the first three are related to Irish matters, and then the fourth thing is a political matter which relates to the outside world, and it's fascinating, I think, anyway. The first two articles I've put up are out of the Irish Independent, and the first article deals with what's called anger over U-turn. That's the heading of the article. And the anger over the U-turn is the government has decided to cut back on the cuts that it was going to put on top civil servants' pay. And the article details an assistant secretary in one of the departments, in one of our departments here in Ireland, who would earn 147,000 a year. And that was last year. This year he's going to earn 146,000. So it's less than 1% of a hit he's going to take. So have we read the article? It's just interesting. As we've discussed before, capitalist society is shaped like a triangle. At the top is another triangle, the good and the mighty, the elite, that run society. They're never ever affected by what affects you. You have to take the 10%, the 12%, the 15% hit and all that. They don't take any hits. Tax exiles, civil servants, judges, politicians, all that. Forget about it. They don't take any of them hits. Are you crazy? Anyway, I'll read the article. Next one is credit unions. Article about credit unions. And this comes from a man called Joe Mead, who's the financial ombudsman, and he's retiring. So he's no axe to grind really. He represents the ordinary citizenry. And what's happened is he retired in December, and this was his winding up speech, as it were. And he basically pointed out the inadequacies and the shortcomings of policies enacted by credit unions, who were taken in by the likes of Davies stockbrokers. Alright? Now, Davies used to be the banking arm of the Bank of Ireland. They're no longer that. Alright? They act off their own volition. And basically what they are is, they're a crowd of high-powered gamblers. That's what Davies are. Davies are just gamblers stroke speculators. But always with your money. They don't gamble or speculate with Davies' money. No, they do it with your money. No matter who you are, if you're a little person or you're one of the Davies private clients, the private clients that they take the 5 millions of and they give to all the property men. You know what I mean? The Liam Carrolls and the Derek Quinlans and all those fellas, and the McNamara's, those fellas. All right. But anyway, that's what they're up to. But what happened was they made approaches, obviously, to credit unions, and credit unions were a big deposit basis, and they made approaches to these credit unions to get the money so they could speculate with it and gamble with it. And obviously the credit unions give a lot of it was given over, because in the main credit unions are kind of benign things. They're communal banks, and unfortunately they're run by people that aren't very experienced in life, that don't really understand how life works. They believe what comes out of the television, they believe what they listen to in the media, when they go to Sunday Mass and all that, they believe all this propaganda that's given down to them. Okay, so this is all the local good and the mighty, like in little villages. But anyway, all over Ireland, and little towns all over Ireland, and little cities all over Ireland, who are in these credit unions. They mean well, but they don't know their arse from their elbow in the main when it comes to economic matters. Very few of those boards that are made up for those credit unions contain any economists. They're all mostly school teachers, accountants, that type of person, you know what I mean? They mean well, but they haven't got clues, don't understand. So anyway, these people gave over hundreds of millions, the likes of Davies, and a lot of it's gone. So give you an idea of what's have a read of the article. The next thing is the number of an Irish Times article on the number of households that are getting an intervention from the state to support their mortgage payments. And at the end of 2007, beginning of 2008, tells you in the little article, it was 4,000 people, and it's now up to 14,740 get it. So at the end of the day, it's all our money, because the state's giving it out, but the state, we give the money to the state, or the state borrows it in our name. Do you understand? The state borrows it in our name, but we get the debt. Do you understand that the debt is passed on to us and our grandchildren and our children? Do you know where I'm coming from? So that's the story. So have we read that? That makes for interesting reading. The final article is an article which I'm fascinated with, because it's a big picture article. It's only a small thing to us. It just sounds like 7 men died, and what it's about Afghanistan, Kabul, and about the CIA. And the CIA has a headquarters in Afghanistan, near Kabul, or it's in Kabul. And what happened was, one of their agents, he obviously was one of their top agents, to be able to have the freedom and be able to meet these guys like the way he did. They didn't search him or anything like that. They brought him in. Imagine this. They brought a guy into their top headquarters, and they never searched him. So they must have thought he was definitely going to work for them, or he was their agent. Whatever. I'd say he was their agent. I'd say he probably had access. I'd say he'd probably done this 100 times before. They'd never had any problem with him. And he does it 101 time, and he's all wired up by explosives. And when he got 7 of them, the leading heads, into a room, he got the 7 of them into a room around a table, pressed the button. Bye, lads. And I'll see you up above, or wherever they go to, wherever all them agents and CIA people go to. I don't know about that. They're all gone now. They've gone to a great counterintelligence game in the sky. So there were 7 of them killed. They're all the top brass of the CIA in Afghanistan. And I believe in all, this was in one room, and I believe in all the other rooms all around, there were tens of people seriously injured. It doesn't tell you how many it was, but it would be a lot of people. Maybe 20 or 30 people, or whatever, 15 or 20 people. So these would be all smaller agents, smaller apparatchiks, you know what I mean? That type of people. So that's the story. So it just what's fascinating about the thing is, I'm actually amazed. I mean, this Afghanistan will be America's Vietnam if they don't withdraw out of there. In the 19th century, I think it was around about the 1850s, 1860s, the British sent an expeditionary force into there. And I think it was around about between 15 and 20,000 men. It was a huge force, completely wiped out. Gone. Took the Afghanis 4 days to kill them all, kill all the English. From generals, with generals in it, colonels and all gone. All the whole regiments, complete regiments and battalions wiped out. Gone. One man saved one of the surgeons. They let one of the surgeons live, and him and a guide wrote out the message, sent it back with all their colours wrapped up and all that, cut pieces of their colours and all that, sent it back with a bag so they'd understand what the story was. Now that expeditionary force is obviously one of the best equipped that the British could put together. It was a serious army, gone, wiped out. In the 20th century, Osama bin Laden arrives on the scene. The Russians are in Afghanistan, 178,000 men, I think they had at their top, 178,000 people they had. They've got the best helicopters, the best aircraft, the best bombers, the best everything. Right? Osama bin Laden arrives on the go with his Mujahideen. All the CIA pumping full of money, give him all them Stinger missiles and all the rest of it. He runs amok. Okay. Have to withdraw immediately. The Russians withdraw within a few years. Give it up. Get out. That's exactly what's going to happen to America. Exactly the same. No different. This is going to be their Vietnam.